Where did HVAC start for you, and what made you get certified?
Well, believe it or not, man, HVAC started for me really by chance. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I don't have no, my dad, my uncles, or nobody is in the trades. So probably around my senior year of high school, um, some guys came. My grandmother stayed in some row houses. Some guys came through just to change out the furnaces and stuff like that. They were doing some rehabbing to the actual development, and I just started going down there asking questions. I didn't really know what I wanted to do pretty much after high school. Um, I didn't want to go to school for a long time. I wanted to be a veterinarian or a marine biologist, but I'm just like, man, that's too long to go to school for. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Um, so got into talking with them. So they turned me on to Coin American, the trade school. So once I graduated out of high school, I actually got plugged in with a heating and cooling company, and I was supposed to be just sitting there to do their security work, watching their trucks and different things like that. Started talking with them. They started inviting me into the customers' houses. Started following them, picking up on what they was doing, and it was just steady interest in me. You know what I'm saying? So once they, was showing me all this, I started getting my hands on. They told the owner about me that I catch on real fast,
Mm-hmm.
and he came out. He was like, "Man, I'm had the guys teach you how to do this." So happened they started teaching me. Job ended. They have hired me on full time. The crazy part about it, I ended up getting. They tried to carjack me that summer. You know what I mean? So I tore my car up, so I couldn't even make it to the job. Full time. So sitting around the crib trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. I'm out of high school now. End up enrolling in trade school and been doing it ever since.
Mm. What was the hardest part about learning HVAC? I know it's dangerous dealing with gas and all of that.
Well, if you're mechanically inclined, it's really not difficult. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff is just repetition. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? As long as you continue to keep doing something over and over again, you know what I'm saying, and you know how to work some tools, everything else is kind of teachable.
It's on
You know what
second
I'm
nature.
saying? So I don't think that I can really point out the really one difficult part of it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
What was one of the toughest jobs that you encountered? Okay, let me
so
ask it that way.
well, one of the toughest jobs that I've encountered, you're saying over my
Oh
career?
yeah, over your career.
Yeah, your 33 long years career.
Well, I really can't say that it's been a tough job. I think, because I've been doing it so long, I think it's like with any other job. You're going to have your good days and you're going to have your bad days. You know what I'm saying? It's just really kind of just a long day. You know what I'm saying? Where something can be where anything that can go wrong on that job, let's say you put in a furnace, can go wrong. That's a bad day for you. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Opposed to like, if somebody's working in the office and you
Mhm.
entering charges, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, a long day is just a bad day, but I wouldn't really say that it's been one that's really difficult that stood out to
Stood
me.
out.
You know?
Okay.
I know me and you personally touched on this, but just tell the audience you teach HVAC now at your 33 years in service of HVAC on Tuesday and Thursday. What made you decide to step into that role?
Well, once again, just like over my career, and I don't want to, you know, repeat the fact that I said it was by coincidence, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think that at the end of the day, it's about the direction God is trying to take you in. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And I think I can define my career over that's what it's been. You know what I'm saying? Just God just kind of guided me. So over the years of me, doing heating and cooling, people have been telling me all the time, like, hey man, you should teach, you should teach. Some people have told me that just listening to me talk to them on the phone, like you said, I walked you through a problem, I make it sound easy. So I was actually talking to a partner of mine that ended up going to school for HVAC, and the school that he was going to, they end up losing an instructor.
Mm-hmm.
So I was teaching him some things, and he just asked me, hey man, do you think that you want to teach? you know. And at first I told him no, you know. He was like, man, I think you should do it, you know. So I was just up for a new challenge, you know what I mean? So I just told him, yeah, I'll go ahead and give it a try. And to be honest with you, it's like I enjoy that more than being out in the field. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I end up getting into the teaching role.
Okay. You making moves out here, I see, huh?
Well, you know, trying to.
With teaching the students and everything, what do you think the students need more of with a skill, discipline, or patience when it comes to the classroom?
So you said skills, discipline, and patience?
What do your students need more of?
I think because of the era that we're living in and the younger students, I think they need more of the discipline, you know, to be able to, you know, put the phones down and figure out how to, you know, put that to the side and focus, you know, because like I was explaining to one of them not too long ago, you know, I want you all to become, you know, focus on becoming good techs, you know, because if you don't learn how to be a good tech, you know what I'm saying, and you focusing on watching your phone.
Exactly.
Once you get out in the field, you know what I'm saying, you're not going to hold a job long.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that comes with discipline. You got to have enough discipline to say, hey, this, you know, put your priorities in order. You know what I mean? I do have some older students there, and I think with them, they need to develop a little bit more patience. You know what I mean? Because they are older, they feel like they have a time limit. You know what I'm saying?
They rushing through it.
Exactly. So not understanding that, you know, it's a long-term game. It's not a short-term game. You know what I mean? So, you know, so depending on the age, it seems like, you know, it varies a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Because, you know, this the microwave era.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything like, pow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's change gears a little bit.